Felt Kingdoms podcast. It's been about 2 years.
2 years
since we actually did it.
Wow.
Man, this is a long time once you think about it.
Yes, it is.
So, I guess today we're going to tell you about why we stopped, so to speak. We'll ask each other questions, and it'll be a good
Q&A
discussion. I know I told you yesterday that I was going to think of questions. Yeah. I didn't want to.
You didn't want to?
I didn't want to think of questions. I'm going to ask
natural.
questions. Yes. So, that's what this podcast is going to be about. Hopefully there'll be more in the future, but we'll see. So, you ready?
Ready.
I'm ready. All right. So, I guess we could start off with like why we stopped to begin with. If you get what I'm saying.
Well, do you want me to start?
I want you to start.
Well, let's see. So I really got to the place where I remember because me and Ari, we actually met up at McDonald's and we actually sat down and like really discussed it was supposed to be like 30 minutes or an hour. We stayed there like 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. We stayed there a long time, which I really appreciate. I really do. But no, back then we started it and I obviously wanted to go all in for God. I even remember you asked me the question too, like why for you, what is this podcast? Like really, like what is Failed Kingdoms to you? You know, why do you want to be a part of Failed Kingdoms and all that? Mm-hmm. And I really said that I just want to reach that one person I said that because I was that one person that you had reached. I mean, you probably reached more obviously too, but for me, I wanted to be that for somebody else too, no matter if it was one view or no views or whatever. I just wanted to be that as well. So back then I had that intention and my intentions were all pure, but I was just going through so much mentally, spiritually, physically. My marriage was getting very tough, not because of my wife, but because of me, hiding secret sins I had mentioned to you about. And then we would come in here and just do this podcast and it was great. It was fun. But in the back of my mind, I'm like literally struggling. Like I'm dealing with like deep depression stuff. And I know like, why not say something? You know, why not? Because I genuinely believe that, you know, how can I encourage somebody if I'm down in the dumps? You know, it's like, who are you? Obviously a hypocrite. Who are you to talk and say something to me and try to encourage me through this life and through this walk, or even a non-believer? And you don't even... You're struggling. Look how bad you're struggling to the point that you want to commit suicide. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it really got that bad though. So I was really struggling in my mind and with things, and I just genuinely was falling apart. I really was. And then I was also struggling with the universalism thing, and I just kind of kept that to myself too. I remember I was telling you that I just kept I even told like Ari my like secret sin, like what I was doing. Like I was literally just, I won't say lusting, but maybe I was, yes. The pornography thing was so heavy on me and it just had a grip on me. And I was just really not in a good place. Hadn't told my wife anything yet. And I didn't even tell Ari. And then my grandmother finding out and dealing with like how she molested me when I was young. And like I told Ari and he was just like, what? Known this man for like 10 years and he didn't even know. And we know everything about each other. So it was like, I genuinely just didn't want to talk about these things. I didn't want to, you know, and on the inside, it was just killing me. And I remember the last maybe 2 or 3 times Ari came over right here in the studio, Found Sun Studios. I remember when he came and I would just sit in the corner, you know, I would just sit in the chair and I'd let you make music and beats and I'm just sitting there. And I remember the silence for me and it was killing me. And I remember thinking to myself, he doesn't understand. Like, he's not even trying to like ask me, you know, if I'm good. Like, if like, hey, let's talk, you know what, forget the music, forget all this, you know, we're brothers. That's why we started this podcast, yada, yada. And I just genuinely thought you didn't understand. I didn't thought that you cared because it just seemed like you didn't until you... Years later now, we sitting down at McDonald's and you're telling me like I was giving you your space, and it just hit me all at once. As soon as you said space, I was just like, it makes so much sense.
Right.
Like you were just giving me, you didn't want, our friendship was already just on a thread. And I really believe it really was, because we were already not seeing each other as often. And all we had was the failed kingdoms. That's literally all we had. And I didn't want to break that either. So I didn't want to say all the things I was going through. And then you're like, well, you're on your own. Like, you can't be part of this podcast. Like, no way. Like that's just crazy, man. My viewers don't want this. Like this guy's crazy. So yeah, but obviously lies are the enemy and stuff like that. And obviously I isolated myself and told myself that, Ari doesn't understand. Nobody understands. My wife doesn't understand. And I don't even know what the heck I'm going through. Like it just all came around like that. And it pretty much was killing me on the inside. And yeah, just the biggest breakthrough I had though was whenever we met and you told me like, yeah, I was just giving you your space. And I didn't, because I genuinely wanted our friendship to continue. So I just didn't want to step on your toes. And I was like, man, I just felt like an idiot, because like that was what all I really wanted was for you to like care, and like understand that I was going through something. And when you told me like, yo, I understood you, I could see you're going through something. So, but I didn't want to, my boundaries or anything. So I would just let you go through what you were going through, give me your space. And I was just like, man, I'm such an idiot. And I think the last thing I'll say is, you told me, or I told you like what made me think that I couldn't trust you anymore. Like I tell you everything. And somewhere along the line, I just sat there and I was like, I can't tell Ari anything. I can't tell my wife anything. Like, so I guess the enemy, he was really isolating me and making me feel like this is just me and I'm the only one in the world, like he tells everybody. So that's pretty much what was going on at the time when we canceled. There's a lot of gap in the middle of like how I got to where I am now, obviously. And I remember the last thing you told me, you were just like, wow, look at you. Like, you're quoting scriptures and you're saying all kinds of things. It's just interesting to see.
It was shocking.
Like, like even the last time you came, it was just like, or yeah, a long time ago, like I even know that I wasn't the way I am now. So like there has been a lot of revelation, like numerous revelation that I could discuss on many other podcasts in the future. But that for me, that's where I was very confused, dealing with secret sin stuff, and I was isolating myself, and eventually it just caused our friendship to just, I would say pause, but let's be real, it just broke off. And it wasn't even because of Ari, it was because of me. And all I had to do was open my mouth and speak, and I didn't. So but that was for me, trying to keep it a little short as possible.
It was pretty good. It's just I guess with me, like I said, like I really was trying to give you space, because like we've been friends for almost 10 years. So it's like when you go through something, like you push away from people. And I knew that where we were at the point that we were, I felt that it was just best to, like I said, to give you space. Because I know that if I'm continuing to try to push it, like it could get to a point where it just fractures.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not trying to overwhelm you with our friendship, because I get it. Like you're married, got a kid on the way. You had already had Bree by then.
Yeah,
right?
we had, but she was so easy. But yeah.
Yeah, and I was just like, I don't want to overburden you. To the point where you feel like you're trying to juggle way too many things at one point, at one time.
Thin. I remember you telling me like you didn't want me to be like stretched thin to where like I had to make a choice where I had to cut you off either way.
Exactly.
Like, so.
And like I said, I was like, man, I literally asked Maria one time. I was like, look, am I that hard to be a friend with?
Oh my god!
Like I really asked. 'Cause I was like, I don't feel like I don't feel like I require too much of like out of my friendships. Like we ain't got to see each other every day.
I know.
I don't want to see you every day. So it's just like, I really tried my best to give as much space to you as I thought you needed. And I think one of the things that I myself needed to work on was to communicate the fact that I was intending a good for you, because it's like, hey, if I'm not really asking you questions, but I can perceive that you're going through something, but I know how you are, so to speak. You don't just immediately come to me when you're going through something.
It's usually like after I'm already over it, and
like you kind of
and it's like, hey, I was going through this, and you're like,
it's like when
like what was that? Why did you say something? Oh, I'm glad you're over it now.
Yeah, it's just, for me, it was just like give them space, and then at that point, like I said, like you said, like we were it was kind of strained a little. Our relationship was already strained, so I didn't want to put more on you than what you could bear.
Yeah,
and by that time, like, because I had already told you before the last time. I was like, look, what I expect of a friend, you're not giving me. And so, because, like, due to all of that history that we have, it was making me hate you.
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, the best thing that we can do right now is for me to not put you there. If you remember when we had
you said you put me outside the family bubble.
Yeah.
And whenever you said that, like, we left, and I was just like,
and I wasn't, and I never meant it, and I never meant it. Like, yeah,
I totally understood. I understood, but I didn't at the same time. Like, I when you told me about the bubble thing and like how I was in that family bubble, and like I understood to a degree, because like your brother and your sister, like just how the family situation things are going, and like you had, even at the time, you were going through your own stuff with your own wife, you know. So I knew you had your own stuff in your life that you were going through, but at the same time, it's like I understood that, like you said, we couldn't be together like 24/7 like we used to be. But at the same time, when you said that, though, like I just kind of genuinely thought, like, well, why do we got to stop being family, though? Like, but I get it, because it's like the closer you feel like you are to somebody, like the more you get hurt, and the more you get like you said, mad and angry. And I'm not gonna lie and say I didn't get angry either, like the last few times, because I was sitting there, and you were making music, and I just expect you to be like, yo, let's have a full grown conversation right now. Like, I want you to read my mind. You know what? Ari freaking pissed me off. Like, he couldn't read my mind. Like, bro, it's like, looking back on it now, I mean, seriously, it's like, I had to learn this through my own marriage as well, because there's times where I expect my wife to sit here and, you're frustrated, you're upset, and you just expect her to be like, figure you out without you having to say a word. And that's the kind of person I am, is like, I just kind of sit here with my hands crossed, like, and obviously, okay, clearly he's upset, but like, what does he want me to do? Like, I don't know. It could be anything, so it was the same way. And I just genuinely thought that we could still be family and be separated and like link up whenever we could and do the music thing. But it just also made me upset too with you, because I just thought that you were supposed to read my mind, and obviously that's the dumbest thing ever. It really is.
Here's the thing. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, have you ever noticed, like, we've never actually, like, when we became friends, we never sat down and like, hey, okay, all right, let's define this. Like, let's get really precise with what this is. We've never actually done that. And I think I guess one of the reasons why here's one of my fears, right? I think I fear, like, precisely defining what I think a friend is, because I think it will alleviate any kind of ambiguity in our friendship. Because, like, okay, what happens if you do that? Well, when you do that, you alleviate, and you pretty much get rid of any non-clarity in terms of what it is to be a friend, and that gives you the option to decide whether or not you want it. So it's like, this is because I've been thinking about like friendship a lot of times, and I would just ask people, okay, what is a friend? And I think most people don't give a precise definition of what that is, if you get what I'm saying. So I think a lot of people do that because once you define your terms and you're extremely clear about what it is to be a friend, I think most people won't know how to do that, won't know how to be one. And so I've always have been I don't want to say afraid, but I've always been hesitant to clearly met out what it is that I expect from a friendship to you, because it's if you know what that is, then you get an option or a choice to say, hey, okay, I'm willing to ride with that, or I'm not. So it's I think we've never actually defined a friend, the friendship, so to speak. And so any expectations that we've had of one another, they are either unspoken. That's the reason why you'll say, hey, I expect you to know this, but he's not asking me, or he's not doing what he's supposed to do.
Just read my body language.
Just reading your body language, reading your mind and stuff like that. You're not, and so you've never actually defined what the friendship is, or what it is to be a friend in this particular context. And so it's kind of hard to know whether or not I actually want to be that, or it's kind of hard to know whether or not you want to be that for me, because we've never actually either defined or even agreed on the terms.
Well, it was really if you wanted to be, what's the word I'm looking for? If you actually stated and said well, this is what I want out of a friend, I think that would be a more mature choice, because nowadays, or even back then, in high school, middle school, whatever, a friend, quote unquote, I could say a worldly friend, even a Christian friendship, let's say like that too. I genuinely believe that you obviously just meet up with somebody, you had a good conversation, or you just like hanging out with this person or whatever it may be. But like you said, there's no boundary. There's no hey, this is what it is. This is what we are. And so it's always left up to, and that's now look at the kind of friends we have now, which is very close to zero.
Yes.
Even after we weren't talking anymore, my friendships were pretty much zero. I had maybe one or two friends. Dustin Pace, he's still right at that, but it was a while too, because he was in Japan. But anyway, moving forward, but we finally linked back up, me and him, just not even a month ago, and I actually seen him in Winter Haven. But anyway, just leaving that open, and that's why I really believe that when you leave high school or a job or anything like that, it's just you see that person again, it's hi, that's it. There ain't nothing more. There ain't nothing. It's because that's literally, there was no boundaries. Mm-hmm. Nobody said anything. And it's kind of just you're just, what I had just said, that it's just expected that if we don't meet the expectations, even though we don't speak or say anything, we just, we'll cut them off. Just leave it at that. No big deal. So I think that it was actually a mature choice. And I wish you did say that back in the day. I know you tried to, and you were really trying to, say it without saying it type of thing, because you were even nervous to say that. But at the same time, even saying it now is still great, because when we left McDonald's, you were even so what, hate to say we're boyfriends, but literally you were so what are we? So what do you expect out of this? Because I'm not going to get my expectations up here and yours is way down here, and we're back in the same loop, in which I told you, I'm I don't want to go in the loop again. I don't want to do that again. So I think it was a good thing for you to say that. Because now it gives me the opportunity. I know, like you said before, there's that 50-50 chance, but you're giving me that 50 chance to actually try to work it, instead of saying let's just end it. Mm-hmm. So now it's actually instead of being awkward, we're just well, this is what we expect. We want to do music. We know this is what we love. I even told you, I just feel this is God, just gifts of God. We can't leave music alone. We really can't. Even if we don't put music out, guys, we're creating music. We just don't put it out. We just don't do nothing with it. And I genuinely believe that, yes, you could love something, but I just feel God literally has given us this gift. And obviously doing a podcast, you're going to reach people. You're going to do things and I knew that this is what we should be doing. which is why I told you, well, when you asked me the question, I was like, well, this is what I want to do. I want to continue making music with you. I want to be a part of things. I just, I want our friendship to come back. But I even stated now that like we can go do things. We can't, if we don't want to do this, we can go sit down and watch a movie. We could eat food. We could do this. We could do that. We don't have to be this 24/7, and we can start from here and see where it goes. Just like with your wife and your babies, like I was like, I want to be there. I want to see them. I want them to grow up around my girls. But like, if that doesn't happen right now, that's fine. Let's work on us and everything. And now look, they came over today. They came over today. It's like, okay, that was a little soon for me, but I was like, Lucy was like crying about it the whole time. She's like, man, I can't wait. I'm like, okay, but it's probably going to take some time. And you're like, Maria's coming. I was like, okay, all right, cool. But no, I genuinely believe that was a good mindset to have when you're entering a real friendship, when you're expecting more and something more lifelong, not like temporary. And like, I need a friend for the moment and that's it. But yeah.
Yeah, I think the it's just the fact that we have so much history together.
Can't leave you alone, man.
Like,
I really can't.
It genuinely like grinds my gear, pisses me off. The fact that you didn't even you weren't even there to. Okay, I'm gonna be real.
Say it.
All right.
That's what we're here for.
I don't even think I'm mad at you. I think I'm mad at the universe, and I'm mad at the situation.
Just say it, bro.
Because like for both of my kids, you weren't there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that makes me so upset.
100%, you're right.
Cause it's like, man, we used to talk like,
about,
hey, bro,
yeah.
Hey, as soon as you tell me your girl in labor, I'm up there. Yeah. I'm there.
And you were for mine. For sure, you were.
And you know that it makes me mad because I know that because I know how easy it is. Just like right here in this vein, just right here. I know how easy it is for us to just get along, for us to just chill, for us to bond, for us just the camaraderie is just there. It's easy. But then at least back then, I don't know how it is going to be now. But at least back then, it didn't translate over into life. Like that's just what it was. Like it didn't translate over. So it's like the chemistry, all of that is there. Like we can talk for hours about anything, laugh. Like you'll have me almost peeing in my pants. But it just never translated over into, all right, let's, as men and as brothers, as people who are in community with each other, it never translated over into life. So that really made, I guess that's one of the things that makes me so mad about our friendship, because the last time you saw me and the last time I saw you, we didn't have 2 kids. Now we both do.
And it was at the mall, right?
No.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think you saw Maria.
I saw you. Well, I think I did before Maria. Yeah,
okay.
But like I met up with you at the mall.
Yeah.
And I saw Camila, and I brought Bree with me.
Yeah.
But it was just me and Bree.
Yeah.
But even then, it was just kind of like we were eating, and we're just sitting there, like, okay.
Because
that was it. No, but let me explain, because I want to move on, because we can sit here forever. But just for that alone, and I know it's not gonna, but just to explain that too. But it was also a similar situation with the kids, where I just expected you, and obviously I wanted to be there. But I remember when Camila was born, like I was feeling the way I was towards you still, but as soon as I think Lucy still had Facebook then. So she showed me the pictures, and like as soon as I seen her, like you didn't even tell me she was in the hospital. First of all, I didn't even know, which was, I get it, priorities first. I wasn't even mad about that. I wasn't even mad, but like as soon as I seen a photo of, you could literally go in the living room right now and tell Lucy, like I was crying when I seen your daughter. Like I was like, I literally told Lucy, I'm like, what am I doing my best friend, my brother just had his baby, and I'm sitting here, like I know you had to be a witness. Like that's when I started texting you more. I was texting him like, hey, all this and this and that, and like it's because in my heart I was like, man, what can I do to fix this? Because like, not just life. I'm not gonna just sum it up with that, but like, I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like, I just literally, I wanted to be a part of her life, and I wanted to be obviously a part of yours, and it just felt like I just let the enemy and myself get between, and there's no reason. Like because like I said, just because I wanted you to read my mind, like no, like, and I thought like that's why I wasn't mad whenever I saw she was born, but because it was like, what do I expect you to just say? Hey, are you coming or not? Like, no, just focus on and I was like, you know what? If I was in your life, I wouldn't even need to ask, because I would know. Like, I would have seen you the week before, like, oh, she's gonna have the baby next week. Okay, I know. But I wasn't there. So like, I get it. But I really tried to squash the beat. But I think at that time, it felt like you were kind of done, and you were focusing on now your baby, and your life with your wife, this new season that you were starting with your wife. And then you started not really texting me back and such. And then I kept trying to say, let's meet up. And then I think it was the last time when it finally was done. It was like weeks. I think she had already been a month or so. And I was just like, he keeps canceling on me. And I was like, I guess that's it. I mean, I've tried, but that's what it was with that. And I wanted to be there. I really did. But I just let all this crap get in the way. I really did. And let that be a lesson to anybody, for real. Like, I preached a sermon about like negative thoughts and all kinds of things recently, in front of my whole church, obviously. But about
that's a shock.
It really is. If we get in that later, but that I literally would never do something in my past, would never preach in a church. I even said I'll go to hell first. I remember telling Ari he said that. I said, I'm going to hell, and I'll enjoy it.
He literally said that.
I really did. But we got to move on. But anyway, yeah. So that's really where it's at least with why things happen and stuff. But let's just move on to the Q&A, the questions and stuff, to fill in the gaps in the meantime, and maybe even like questions about what we're going to do now and like the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. I'll let you start since you let me start. So what's a question for me? Anything.
I think you should probably start, because I told you I didn't write anything down.
Well, okay. I didn't either. I said I wanted to, but I didn't. Okay. But I got questions.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just cool. Like, so I wanted to literally go basic. So what is Camila's full name?
Camila Annalise Spivey.
And Sebastian?
Sebastian is Sebastian. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Shy Spivey.
Shy?
Yeah, Shy. SHAI.
AI. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But what are your kids' names?
Here we go.
Just
it's
for the
almost
cameras.
sad that we got to do this, but I was even excited just even asking this question, because it seems so silly, because we should know this, but like,
we're best friends, and we gotta do this. Okay.
But it's fine. I'm excited to do it, because it's like we're filling in that we lost a lot of time, but like we're able to fill in the gaps now. At least the best we can. But firstborn Bree just turned 3, but her full name is Bricinda, Brian and Lucinda. So Bricinda Diane Grant, Diane from Ganny. And my second born, let me see if I get it, Victoria Elena Grant. Victoria, because her dad's name is Victor, and Elena is her mom's name. I think her mom's middle name. Yeah. So
wait, do they do the whole thing where they do like they take the last name of the mom and the dad?
Lucy wanted to do that. She wanted to try, and I was like, no,
absolutely not.
Absolutely, no, it had to be Carrizales Grant. That was my wife's last name. But I was like, no, it's just going to be Grant, or there's no marriage certificate. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And like her dad will always still say like, oh, Brian Carrizales. I'm like,
I wish you would,
bruh. But it's like, what's wrong with my name? Like, I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah,
like, they really want you to be.
Yeah, we had that when it came to Camila. Like Camila,
like, why?
Maria wanted Camila's name to be Camila Annalise Sevilla Spivey. because that's her.
Oh no! And
I was
then,
like, nah.
to a degree, Lucy understood because she was like, she knows obviously because she's Hispanic. She knows that like there's like writing that full name out, and then it's like she's like always like, man, why did my parents call me this? I got like 2 last names, 2 first names, and a middle name.
Man, I just went straight up tribal. I was like, this is America. We don't do that.
But it's not even. It's like, hey, let's quote scripture here that like you leave your father and mother, you become one mother, and you become one flesh, and you start your own family. So why are you carrying your past family around? I mean, but I guess in a way, but you're obviously as the men, we carry that down. But anyway, but moving on. Next question.
Oh, I got a question. So what are your I just want to know, because it seems like you're at a different place now in terms of your faith. Where define your faith? Like, what do you believe?
I still did not look it up since I asked, because you asked me, and I still want to, because I want to be able to give a clear answer. But I remember I told you that like I take the Bible literally.
Not that. I'm
what?
talking about.
But what do you mean?
What do you believe in terms of like the deity of Christ? Do you believe that Jesus is God? Do you believe in a bodily resurrection? Do you believe in the Trinity? Like, what do you believe about like in terms of Christianity?
Well, first of all of those.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
First of all of those, like,
I'm curious.
Pretty much was, I guess I could literally say the same thing, that like, yeah, like everything that the Bible says about Christ and about God, like I believe to be true. I'm not gonna lie and say there's not a lot of things I don't understand. And but I just kind of leave that to God. You know, there's a lot of gray area that we don't know about him. But there is one thing I know, that he is good, and I know that he died and rose again for us. And even with you, I remember, what was it that you were having trouble with, like the spiritual side of things, like an actual, what's the word I'm looking for? Mystical type side of things. But yet you can still sit right here, and I know you admitted that like there's just some things like the spirit does and you just can't explain it, but like you can't deny it either. So like I believe that the Holy Spirit is still at work, and I believe that Jesus is coming back. We had a good discussion about the whole second coming deal and all that, which was interesting. But I believe all of it to be true. And it's funny, like it's the same Bible, and it feels like the word always changes around, obviously because it's alive. But like the same Bible I read back when we started Failed Kingdoms and all that, like it's like I have just a wholly new revelation on it, you know, because I actually read it through and through, studied it more, and I'm feeding myself a lot more as well. So yeah, I just totally believe, because there's things that I can't deny. There's a lot of a gray area I don't understand, but I do know that he is like, he fills the rest of that, and all that is important is Jesus. So, my question now. So yeah, let's see, what was the next question? I want to know how Mom Dukes is doing, and Jamar, and Big O, and your family, basically. As much as you're willing to tell, that's fine with me. Until I can hopefully one day talk to him again. Mom Dukes, I love you. I'm sorry about everything. It's Eugene. It's your other white son, disowned by you because I no longer spoke to you.
She would never say she disowned you. Just let you.
Just a lost son. Yeah. Found son. That's me, baby. That's me. Continue on.
That was so cringe.
Thanks.
Right. Anyway, my mom is good. She's working. So it's,
when did she start working?
Like 2 years ago. She works at a elementary school. I won't tell anybody where it is because I know how you guys are.
I guess, man, she'd be the best freaking teacher ever, bro. Well, unless what grade you said she?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't get involved in.
No, that's cool. I was just like a minute, but unless it was like some snot nosed like bad kids, and that's different. Like I know Mom Dukes would lay the hammer down.
Probably.
But Jamar?
Yeah, Jamar's good. Jamar is just got promoted to a foreman position.
Big pop.
So he's doing good. I'm glad that he's doing that. My grandmother, she's doing well.
Love you, grandma.
Love you, mom. And Big O, Jamar. Sorry, Big O.
Sorry.
This is gonna be on YouTube, and he's gonna watch it too. So sorry.
Big O, how you doing, brother? I miss you. We'll see each other soon. Go on.
He's good. He's dual enrolled. He's taking college courses. He's turning 18 this year.
18. Big O.
Yep.
Brian. Man. Bruh.
Yeah,
Big O,
he's
big
doing
man.
he's doing good.
That's great.
I don't think he's yet decided what college he's looking at, but hopefully he will soon. Very smart, very, very, very smart. So yeah, my family's doing good. I'd rather not say about the other family.
It's cool.
Yeah,
Hey, brother and sister.
I love my brothers and my sisters. That's they, that's their business.
That's fine.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that's their business, and I prefer to keep it on their side. So
Adrian, Ariel, miss y'all. Haven't seen y'all. No, I seen Adrian when my baby was born. I was just telling
his baby had just been born.
Yeah. So they just had a birthday together.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I remember.
I seen him and he's like, well, if it isn't old Eugene. Both had a C-section, man.
I noticed none of them call you Brian. They cool, all, I mean, except Jamar. Jamar calls you Brian. I know. All of them call my
man gave me the respect. I have never noticed. My man has respected me as a young man since I walked in the door.
Okay,
I respect that.
I don't know. He thinks that he thinks that you don't care about him.
Jamar?
Yeah.
No.
Like he thinks specifically when it comes to us that you only care about my mom.
Well, Jamar, because hopefully he does watch this long behind.
He will.
Okay,
he absolutely will.
I know that we got viewers out here. Thank Jesus, you're so good.
Yeah, we was getting like 23 views. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
That's a lot for a
somebody
podcast.
to actually sit down and watch. Eventually, we're gonna get this on a pod. I've been looking at. I want to get it on an actual podcast, like our own official thing.
Oh, like Podbean and stuff, like Apple Podcasts. Yeah, we can do that.
But Jamar was never like that. It was. I just respected the fact that. For me, my view of you has never changed. I still remember when we did that men's.
Yeah, I know you're talking not man up.
Fire. Yeah. Something
5-star man.
Yeah, 5-star man. 5-star because we had the booklet.
Yeah.
But like for me to even remember that, like you have been, I won't say a father figure, because hey everybody, how y'all doing? All right. Sweetie. I'll be in the room, sweetie. All right, sweetie. All right, man. I would sit on the couch right next to mom. Man, I had some good memories.
Man. Hey, Brian, go take that trash.
Bro, I would go. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You'll be.
Oh man,
you'll be in the backyard mowing the lawn with us. And
I did.
And I'm telling you how much I hate Jamar.
Yes, man. This is.
Oh,
when I tell you, I had some good They really were, and they still are to me, like my family. This is like, I'll get back to Jamar in just 1 second, but like that's what I told Ari is that I even felt like when we were gonna meet up at McDonald's, I texted him. I was telling them that, whatchamacallit, don't lose it. Holy Spirit, bring him back to me. But I literally felt like Ari was saying things like, oh, I don't feel like, you really want to be my friend anymore. Just stuff like that in a sense. And I was just like, yo, no matter how much time passes, I know that how things ended. I know that there was nothing in between, all of that. But I was like, now where I'm at, I literally said that even if we never spoke again, like I would never say Ari was not my brother. Like I would never say that y'all were not my family. Like I could still brag to Lucy about how y'all are my family. We had the best of times and like how y'all were there for me because my mom was working 12-hour shifts, 12 to 14 through the night and sleeping through the day. And my dad is just living on the streets. So y'all were literally my almost 10 years, my family, me coming over and me walking like 3 hours by myself in the middle of the night because mom didn't want to take me home. She really did. She was like, son, I'm going to bed. Is he staying or is he going? Like, what's the And I would be like, no, it's cool, ma. It's cool. Like, it's all good.
I'm talking about, bro.
It was no respect. It was.
You show up. I'm at school. I get off the bus. I'm walking. I see this white dude at my house. I'm like, Brian, why are you at my... You just literally at my house.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my God.
And I just... totally appreciate Mom Deuce just letting me do that.
Yeah.
And I get it too that you always ask permission. I love that too though. Like there was still like hey mom, is it cool? You know, so even then she could have said no, and a lot of times she did. She was like, no, not today, son. I was like, dang man, I wanted to go. But there were times too where like literally 9 times out of 10, she literally, yeah, it's cool. Come on. You know, y'all had to sit outside. You know, I remember that too. The house was locked up. Y'all got to sit outside and wait for me to come home. I'm like, cool with me. I mean, we really had some good times. But like going back to Jamar, so like Jamar, this is why, like I'm saying, for me to even remember the 5-star man thing, you coming home, what I saw was a working man. May not have seen you work, but like to know that you work all day. Literally, and you come home and you just rest, do whatever you want. I never was like, man, Jamar, what's wrong with him? Never, not even once. Like just, and Mom Dukes, to the respect she has for him too, she never was like, man, my lazy behind husband. Like she never once come in the door, hey sweetie, no bickering. I've seen that. I really have. So like, but with them, they were always the model example, like always. So Jamar, like I never hated you, but it was like you kept your distance. So it's like, not that I did too, but it's like if I seen you, obviously I respected you. You know, I obviously was like, yo, if he told me to do something, I did it. You know, I wasn't like, no, I hate my dad and I hate you too. I hate my life and I hate all of you except Mom Dukes. Like, nah, it was not true. Like if I seen Jamar, like I was just straight up like, yo, there you go, Jamar. Okay, you going in the room? Okay, you wanted me to go in the room and lay down with you? Hey, Jamar, what are you saying, man? Like, there were a few times when I went back there, with Ari or something. But if he's gonna go back there, I was like, I know because you would always tell me, like, oh, he was working all day long. So I'm like, I'm not gonna go bother the man. But all we would hear in the back is, and then call Mom up. Sweetie, you gotta
watch it.
You gotta watch it. He said,
hey, sweetie, you got my message on me.
No.
Watch that video. Watch the video.
Grandma, oh, man.
Yeah, my grandma, man.
Grandma would just come out of the room. Oh, man, I would come over, and just all I hear is the coffee pot going. I know Grandma's home, man. And Grandma too. I just loved all of y'all, man. I really did, and I still do. Like that's what I'm saying. I'll never be like, oh, no, they ain't my family. Like we never were. Things are just different between us. I'm just done. Never, man. Like, so yeah, Jamar, cool. Mom Dukes, I love you to death. Like all of y'all, I love Big O, Adrian, Ariel. Like y'all were literally the family that I didn't have present at the time. You know, and even now, back then I had a lot of negative to say about my family, but now I've just grown and I understand a lot more. So I understand about my family and I don't feel the same, but like, it doesn't change the fact that you guys were physically there for me and emotionally, like a lot when I was going through my mess with my own family. So, you just asked a question?
Did I?
I don't even remember. Look at us. We're just enjoying it. We're enjoying it, man.
Man.
Okay, we still got time.
No, it's your turn. Okay.
So let me see.
I think.
No, I asked how the family's doing.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. And then we just started doing stuff. What do you think? What has changed about you? Like, if you can pinpoint like the one thing that you can look at and you're like, okay, yeah, I'm definitely that's definitely not in me or of me anymore.
You mean since the friendship broke off, or what? Yeah.
Or just in life. Because I mean, I obviously I can tell there's differences now. But there's about a 2-year gap between the last time we spoke and now, like really spoke.
Yeah.
So what's something that you're like, yeah, that's something that's completely different?
Well, the big thing I had mentioned was the secret sin was exposed, and forcibly. The Lord had that situation set up to where I can't keep doing what I'm doing, you know, and trying to live for Him, for Jesus, and doing this at the same time. So like the secret sin was eating me up inside, which was, not to go way into detail, but I'm I'm not ashamed to say that like the pornography had me so bad that I was doing things and getting in trouble with the law. Like, not nothing serious, but like just really stupid, very, very stupid, and not telling anybody, keeping it inside. It just was making a muddy, nasty crap mess. And like, it was just so bad to the point, and going on for so long to the point where it just was starting to show in my appearance. That's why when, the last few times you've seen me, I was the way I was. So you're saying there's a 2-year gap, but it really was just mainly me trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do. And a lot of the time it was just, I still remember I told you, like, the prayer I had while it's still living in my secret sin was, Lord, don't let it be too late for me. Like, don't punish me. Don't let it be too late to where you have to punish me. Deliver me from this before that happens. But I wanted to have my cake and eat it too, so he had to do what he had to do. And I even seen it obviously in the Bible where it says, if God, he disciplines his children that he loves. Like, obviously he doesn't kill them because he loves them type of thing, but like, there has to be some corrective action. I can't expect to make a real change. Nobody can. And you're not willing to stop. Like, not just stop, but you're not willing to like wake up and be like, yo, there's something wrong. And I remember you told me at McDonald's, you were just like, yo, you needed therapy. Like that. And if I heard that before, I would have been hurt. I would have been like, wow, like, no, I don't need therapy. I just need you to talk to me. That's what I would have been like. But yo, like, now I'm in therapy, couples therapy with my wife. And like, I'm seeing that, like, man, this is huge. I got problems. She got problems. We all got problems. But like, I can't expect every person I see to just sit here and like figure me out. That's not y'all's job, to sit here. Y'all supposed to be somebody we can lean on, but like, as a friend. But like, for me, like, when you guys leave, that's what the thing, you guys are going to leave. You're going to go home, and I'm going to have to sit here and still deal with my life. So something that changed within me was like the secret sin was exposed, man. And I had to sit down at the table and tell my wife, like, this is what's going on. Like, this is taking over my life, and I'm boohoo crying. And it was just like what you said, that like, there was never an expectation thing. We never sat down, and even for my wife, like, yo, this is what I want. This is what, this, and this, except for when Bree was born. But it was that fear of like sitting down and not knowing what she's going to say. Like, cause I'm going to tell her everything, and she has every right to be like, I'm gone, adios. But she didn't. She just sat there and looked at me, and I swear, like, it was like she is the visual representation of Jesus to me. Because in those times where I am in my deepest mess and my deepest, darkest mess, in times where I wanted to commit suicide, I got 2 kids and wanted to commit suicide still, not because of them, but because the enemy's making me feel worthless as a Christian, as a husband, as a father, like everything. And it just really was surprising to know that once it was exposed and it feels like your life is over, your life really begins. So like, that's when the healing really started, was when it was exposed, and my wife accepted me still for who I was. And it reminded me, whenever we first started dating, I told her about my past, about what happened in Michigan and stuff like that. And she literally was like, I love you the same. Like, because, and I'm like, why? I hate me. Why? And she's like, because Jesus loves you. And like, who am I, to sit here and call you out on anything, and Jesus loves you just the same. So like, I should love you for who you are, and he'll do the rest, So yeah, like, once that changed, like, that was exposed, it obviously, there were still a lot of kinks, a lot to work out through the meantime, but like, it kickstarted the process for me to actually start real change. And it just kept, as long as I kept things in the light, which I did, like, it took a long time to really continue like sorting out all the mess and all the darkness, but it really got me to where I am today, is to get out of your secret sin and to just focus on Jesus and your family and stop with the negative thinking crap, stop with all this stuff, because, you know, it's not just you. Like, we all go through stuff, and you can't expect everyone to just look at you and just be like, figure you out. Like I said, we keep coming back to that. So I think that's important. I really do. Because there is I don't believe in the whole coincidence thing. Some things, yes, but like this, it just can't be, because we keep coming back to that topic. So, but that's what really started the change for me. And it's sad too, because I want to say my children is what made me change. Like, I remember holding my babies, both of them, when they were both born. Lucy was in another room because she had 2 C-sections. So like, I was still holding them separately, obviously. And I remember looking at them in their eye when they just opened their eyes. And I would say, like, your dad is going to do this. Like, he can do this. Like, he'll get past this. Like, you don't have to ever worry about me falling back into sin again. And I can't tell you how many times I still did. And I still think about those things to this day. But it's not about dwelling. It's about moving forward, and that knowing that Christ continues to pick us up and put us back on the right path. So I really believe that that's where that's what helped me. There's a lot more I can go in the middle, but like that, it was really the start of it all, and the process of what helped me even get to where I am is exposing all of the stuff that was in the dark. So next question. Is there going to be, I actually thought about this one like for like a whole week and a half. Is there going to be a Magic and Bird Fail Kingdoms Found Son album?
I can't believe you just compared us to Magic and Bird.
Well, I'm talking about Andy and
I know who you're talking about.
Words played.
I don't know.
What time is it?
Game time.
1.3 seconds left in regulation.
You know that whole part?
Yes, sir. I was like, man, I'm ready. Let's do it, man. I want a joint album where we just sit here and we rap about absolutely nothing at all.
I don't know, man. And like, I guess I'm hesitant to, because I guess when it comes to you, I don't think you are doing anything specifically in terms of music to, like I said, like even now I'm not either, but I think like the song we just recorded, that was for fun. But
it might be on the album, but yeah.
But at that point back then, I was actually doing it, and I was doing a podcast. I was making music to try and potentially get to a point where I can make money off of it. Not necessarily like that being primarily the reason. I just love making music. I love doing podcasts. And so I think I don't think you were there. I don't think you were at that point. I don't think you're at that point now either.
What do you mean, to where I'm trying to make money off of it, or like
okay, if we both got the opportunity to, okay, somebody come up to us and it's like, hey, man, you guys sound good. I want to sign you guys. I genuinely don't think that you'd be willing to explore that option, because I don't think you see music, and maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think you see music as a potential life sustaining job. And I don't necessarily think that's me either. But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, and I think that was one of the things that made it a little bit complicated between us, because it's like, hey, it's off.
No, you're the pole.
Oh, I know.
It's all up in there.
Oh, my fault.
Like, there you go.
Anyway, good, better, sure. All right, that's why. Anyway, but
So what's the question? What's the question?
No, I just think well, you asked, is there a joint album in the making? And like I said before, look, I just want to make sure that I don't want to jump into it, because I know that I don't want to get something going and then, like, I'm not saying, like I said before,
I get it.
and don't want to get my hopes up, so to speak. It's not necessarily saying that I don't trust you. I literally don't think. I don't think you're. I think you're an extremely honest person. I don't know, and I don't recall you ever lying to me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say you want to do something, I think you genuinely mean that you want to do something.
Of course.
But I find it's kind of difficult for me to be like, oh, okay, cool, and then me to put stock in that and say, all right, we're doing this, you know. So yeah, I think it's the motivations behind doing all that stuff. Like, are you just doing it for fun? Is it a hobby? And I think for me, it would be a maybe this is what this is. Like, maybe we can, maybe this could be something that can get us some shows. Maybe this could be something that can, do whatever. And I think for you it's not necessarily that. It's more of a passion project. It's a hobby, and you're not necessarily looking to do anything monetarily with it.
Well, I mean, in a way, you're 100% right. Especially with back then, which is why when we did our show, I was so nervous. Like when we did that, and I know you've done plenty too, and you've been plenty nervous too before as well. But no, it was. I can kind of tie into back then too a little bit. Now I wouldn't mind, being like going 100% all in. But I'm not gonna, like, we always laugh about it all the time, but legit, it's not like I'm gonna be like, hey hun, I quit my job.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going full-time music. Did you get signed yet? No.
No.
I just feel like
it's faith. You got to speak it into existence. Come on.
You know this now.
God.
But no, like, it's obviously not going to be like that. But back then, let's just say, for instance, Depending on You, still honestly like one of my favorites as well. But like, it was like we only had one song at a time, and we literally, and I remember you were doing the other podcast, the Bad Roman project, and you literally wrote that right then, and obviously it was like bomb, it was fire, but like we literally were making songs like as we went. Like we never sat on a project, like a full body project. We were just kind of making it as we were going along, and then but always talking about music, and always talking about the podcast, and like we were literally doing like the podcast, and then you were trying to set up the interviews and stuff like that, and we're trying to make music, whether it's on a beat off of YouTube or actually making one. Like we were doing so much all at once, and it's like, for me it was overwhelming for sure, and I did want to just have fun, but like it didn't allow me to like really process, I guess. Like, let's slowly transition into this, like one bit at a time, to where now, yes, I put out an album, Get Right by Found Son, all one word. But whatchamacallit, it's like I did that for fun too, but also because I really felt like the Lord was pushing me to do that, because I was still sitting on my music. It's been years since me and Ari got together. I made music, and I would always be fooling with music, but like I never put anything out. Just like you said, because it was like, what am I even doing this for? I'll just do it for me, I guess, and not. But then God really kept pushing me, do it. And I'm like, you know what? Fine. If it sounds like crap, I don't care. Like, at least the Lord will be like, I wasn't obedient or something, so I'm just going to do this. And it actually came out all right. And I bought all this stuff, and I'm, the software and everything, and I'm like, I wanted to use it instead of sending our beat. And that was another thing too back then, is like we were sending the music off, and like I get it, we didn't know a lot back then and stuff like that, but like, and it was easier to a degree, but like I didn't have money. Like I was so, like, I won't say poor, but like I was paycheck to paycheck, literally. Like I really was. And am now with this car payment. And I just bought. But now the difference is I bought all these things over the years, and potentially, yes, I would. But it's like, why not make a project, have fun with it, and it be genuine, and like then we say, hey, we already got a project right here full album. I won't say 20 songs, but like even 10 songs, 7 songs, whatever it is. We have music we're sitting on, and we can release projects because we have it already. Not just say, oh, we'll do that one day, and we got a single. It's like, bro, when's the project coming, bro? Like, so that's why, we did that song recently, and I wanted it to have a single because I only have an album out, and to have a little more variety. And obviously I want to do a video to it too, but whatchamacallit, I want to build that up first. And then it's like, okay, now let's go out there. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you were trying to do it all at the same time. Like, let's get out there. Let's put our music out there, but let's also get recognized at the same time. And it's like, dude, nobody knows us. Nobody knows us. Yeah. Like, and it's like, bro, why are we're gunning so hard? And we're not even known locally. Like, nobody even know. And I get it, put your presence out there, put yourself out there. Mm-hmm. But like, man, like, I don't know. So it was like, we had fun with the music, making it, but then it's like right away, pressure. We're going to go ahead and don't even know the lyrics yet. You don't even know your own lyrics. You just wrote them down. We got a show. Let's go. And it's like, it's like, okay. But nah, like, it was just a lot of pressure. And obviously back then what I was going through and all that. But right now, yes, I would love to have fun. And I don't believe there's nothing wrong with me personally having fun at all. Like, I want, if we're not having fun with this, and not just fun for fun's sake, but like we're having fun and we're getting our message across. We're doing the podcast. This is touching somebody, making people laugh, whatever it is. Then like, I think that's more important as a whole. And when that happens, somebody says, yo, like, look at these guys. They got a little influence locally, yada, yada, yada. Then okay. Like, I mean, that was just my pride. Like, but it was like, we need to do it. It almost felt like we need to do this now. We got to get all this stuff now. We got to do this now. We have to get recognized now. But it's like, yeah, that there's a possibility of it. But at the same time, like, just felt like we weren't really having fun with it. It was just so much pressure instead of like fun and then like let it naturally happen type of thing.
So how would it naturally happen?
Like, to me, I really believe it would have took like at least a year, not even a year. Like, even then that would be like saying something, but like, you literally just started the Failed Kingdoms podcast thing. Like, I think one of the first videos you had up, and like it was like already from there, But obviously now it would even be
because just to clarify, I had already started going. So that was around the time where I was going, leading up to my album release.
Yeah, I remember that
all
too.
All that stuff. So it had already been going, and specifically in the groups that I was in, like, people were listening to my music.
Okay,
like, so that's the whole reason why the whole Bad Roman podcast.
Yeah, it was dope
because people were listening. It was like, hey, I'm getting invited on podcasts. I was getting shows, but then they'll listen to my music and they don't agree with my theology, so the shows will get canceled. But the whole, like, so for me, that's the reason why I was doing it the way that I was doing it. Because
I get
people were interested and people were involved, but at that point, it was just like, okay, well, if you're a part of Failed Kingdoms,
I get it.
I already got an album.
I
already got my album out, and I'm working on my second album, which is Failed Kingdoms Part 2. Yeah. It's like all of that was already in the works, and so with all of that happening, and I was having shows, most of them were being canceled.
I see, and like this is also where communication thing comes in, but like you're totally forgot about that. You're 100% right, because I was just starting, let's just say that, and I literally just got my software and everything, so that's why it felt like that to me. So like, and I get it, you were already on a roll in a manner of speaking.
Released 2 albums.
Yeah, so like, and you really were getting that, and you were on other people's podcasts, and obviously you're doing the interview. That's why it was things were already rolling for you. But for me, it wasn't like that. So now I get what you're saying too, that if I was gonna be a part of it, then this is, and you even said that, yo, like, we're gonna be doing this and stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, cool. But that's why it was a little harder for me too, to like kind of jump into it, because I was like, dang, man, I'm just starting. Like, I genuinely want to, but like, at the same time, I was still more like, let's have some fun with it and let's just see where it goes, instead of like, let's go. But you were serious. You were very serious with it, and you still are, I know. But just moving on to the question again. But like, we, I wouldn't mind But I'm not gonna sit here and lie either and say I don't want to have fun.
Because I do. I
Yeah.
think I will literally walk out of here if we ain't having fun.
Exactly.
Because
And
it's
I mean,
it's not a job that I'm looking for. It's the fact that, hey, I can sit up here and just BS my way into a song and people listen to it and then I get paid for it. Like, that's what I want to genuinely happen between, like, when it comes to this. And obviously, like I said before, look, if I never get to a point where I could just make money off of this and I can live off of it, I'll be perfectly okay. Like, especially now. And that was another reason why I felt like I had to push it a little bit.
yeah.
Because at that point I was 26, maybe 27. Got kids. Well, I had a kid. I was about to get a kid. So it's like people stop rapping. People stop rapping in they mid 30s, early 30s. It's like you basically washed up at that point. Like, people stop rapping around those times if they haven't, like, if something hasn't popped off yet. So that's kind of where I was, because it's like, look, I've been rapping since I was like 10 years old.
I remember. I know.
And
I don't remember, but I know.
And then now it's like, so at that point I was like, man, I'm getting older. I'm in my late 20s, mid to late 20s. Like, it's gonna get to a point where, like, me making music ain't gonna make sense anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially like trying to put it out there and trying to do something with it.
Do something.
It ain't gonna make any sense. So that's the reason why I felt like I had to push. Like, now it's not like that anymore.
Okay.
But at that point it was like, man, I gotta go. I gotta hurry up and,
because I was gonna ask. We'll be the last question here. But whatchamacallit? So let's just say we continue on with the podcast, and obviously it's your podcast. So you continue on, and even if I'm on it, and we do songs together, or you keep making music. Let's just say, I won't say it in this sense because we're not going to be Triple E and all that, but like, if you never do get signed, if the podcast only has a couple thousand, because I see it does. So like, and your songs too, if it only stays about there, a couple thousand, like, would you still just hang up the coat and just be like, you know what?
No,
like,
I just wouldn't do it as frequently.
Because that's where I'm at right now too. Because it's like, it's a challenge because we don't have social media, and it's just because
I do.
I know you do, but I'm saying for me and me and my wife, we want to do podcasts too, and obviously music. Like, it was a struggle, like, to even release the Get Right album, because it's like, man, I don't have social media. How am I going to distribute this? All I did was send it to all of my contacts. That's what God told me. Felt like it's what he told me to do. I did it, and it's up in the hundreds. So I'm like, man, it must have worked. Because I was like, man, I'm going to get 10 views, and that's it. And it didn't. Like, I'm like, okay, so somebody's doing something somewhere. It's getting shared somehow. So, but I do know we're eventually going to have to get to the point where I need to have some kind of official page or something like that. Because I'm totally fine with just keeping a few hundred to a couple thousand. But like you said, if it's something does happen, then okay. But like, at least I would have content to fall on. Let's just say it like that. For me, at least, because I'm still starting out. I thankfully finally released something. And I do see, like, for you, it would be a lot more easier because you still got your videos up. It's not like you took anything down. So like, it's easier just to roll into that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Yeah. We got just a few more moments to spare, but just wanted to say, thanks for letting me come back on, and we can do this again sometime and have another full discussion about all the stuff we didn't really get to hit, but really feel like we got quite a bit of it. If there's any questions you feel like you need to ask, somebody wants to know, leave it in the comments if there's available comments.
Make sure you like and subscribe as well.
Fell Kingdoms. I don't know how you spell it on YouTube.
I spelled it exactly how it sounds.
Okay. No, I mean, like, as an underscore. You know what? Yeah. They search it up and it's right there.
Yeah, it's just at Fell Kingdoms. At Fell Kingdoms. That's
at Fell Kingdoms. And like, in me, I'm Found Son. Yes. Thank you. Yes, you can find me on YouTube as well as one word, Found Son. But yeah, we'll see where we're going to go from there. We got some music that hopefully we can start doing within the next few weeks. Maybe get a video release with me and Ari here. But I'm just really glad we were able to do this, hash it out and ask some questions, and people probably wanted to hear, like you said. So